Item number 7, notice of motion regarding the humanitarian crisis in Yemen. Please comment, Councillor Abdul Karim, to move the motion. Thank you very much. 3 minutes.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Lord Mayor, Sheffield has a long and proud tradition of speaking up for and supporting people who become innocent victims and suffer appallingly as a result of civil wars and conflicts throughout the world. The current situation in Yemen is so shocking, the devastating human crisis is so great, the statistics so dumbfounding, with stories of thousands of children literally starving to death. It's almost inconceivable how the world has allowed this to continue for so long and is still continuing to this day. Lord Mayor, people in Yemen are suffering on an unprecedented scale. It's already been cited as the worst humanitarian crisis in the world, creating the worst outbreak of cholera in modern times, and bringing Yemen to the brink of the world's worst famine for 100 years. All this as a result of a conflict where the human cost of innocent lives far outweighs anything that would be achieved by either side of the conflict. The numbers are so staggering, Lord Mayor, they're almost unbelievable. 85,000 children dying as a result of starvation. 3 million people fleeing their homes to other parts of the country. 300,000 seeking asylum in other countries. 14 million people at risk of starvation, including 5 million children. 22 million in need of humanitarian assistance. I could go on. Lord Mayor, we need to raise our voice for these people. We have a very long-established Yemeni community for over 50 years in Sheffield, who have made a substantial contribution to the city in so many ways. And we've heard some very moving statements from some of them this afternoon. A lot of them are known to me very personally. Lord Mayor, this community is directly affected by what is happening in Yemen. I'd like to say to them that we stand with them. We share their outrage as well as their grief at the terrible atrocities being inflicted on innocent people as a result of the conflict in Yemen. Today, I hope we can send a message of solidarity to the Yemeni people and to the community here in Sheffield, and support their efforts to mobilize communities in the city and beyond to raise funds and much-needed supplies for the people affected by this terrible humanitarian crisis. And finally, Lord Mayor, a plea to our Sheffield MPs to help reconvene a parliamentary debate on this crisis, and in the back of UN efforts for a ceasefire, help find a way of bringing about peace in Yemen. Lord Mayor, raising our voice and offering our support is our way of saying to the Yemeni people, we stand with you. And I therefore put this motion.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. I'd like to thank all the speakers that came to ask their questions today, particularly the two ladies. It is come to get very emotional questions. I'm seconding this motion as the crisis in Yemen strikes a very personal chord with me. I was born in Yemen. Other than my parents and siblings, most of my extended family remain in the Yemen. I have lost family members in the war. I speak to many in Sheffield who also speak to me of their heartbreaking stories of family members they too have lost. The people in Yemen find themselves victims to a war they did not ask for. Innocent people who have no choice about the politics that surround them. Caught in the crossfire of a proxy war that has no imminent end, as each country has its own self-interest and motivation. Let's kid ourselves, the interest of Yemeni people, let's not kid ourselves, the interest of Yemeni people is not a contributing factor to either of the two countries that are involved. The country or its people would not be suffering if they were. The world's worst humanitarian disaster, entirely preventable, entirely man-made, quite literally. As women and children suffer the most. The Althora Hospital in Hadera was attacked last month. This hospital provides neonatal and emergency care. Pregnant women now give birth at home with no medical support for fear of being killed if they go into hospital. The country has 1.1 million pregnant women, malnourished, resulting in premature and dangerously low birth weight babies. Saudi Saudi has a lot to answer for, yet the answer to nobody. Whilst I was appalled with the murder of Khashoggi, I am saddened by the silence of our government and the escalation of the war in Yemen, and more importantly, the government's complicity in selling arms to the Saudis. If the assassination of one man can unify the world against Saudi violence, why not the preventable deaths of hundreds of thousands of Yemenis? Very often I hear there isn't much that can be done, but Sheffield is a very giving city, and there are many in Sheffield who have started the campaign, starting with the setting up of the Sheffield Humanitarian Aid for Yemen project, which was established last month. As Abdul, my colleague, has said, we must show support to the people of Yemen, that they are not forgotten by calling for an end politically to arms sales to Saudi Arabia, and ensuring aid continues to reach those in need. We must show a unified voice from all parties in this room, that we stand in solidarity with the people of Yemen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There are two proposed amendments on this motion. They are number 6 and 7 on the list of amendments. May I please call upon Councillor Shafan Mohammed to move amendment number 6. Let's speak up for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Lord Mayor, how do you cover what you just heard? Full emotion, real hurt. And all I'll say to Councillor Mohammed is that every colleague in this chamber feels your sorrow and the grief that you are going through, and same message to our friends in the Yemeni community with their Abdul and others. This is a terrible, terrible war crimes that are taking place in Yemen. They are unforgivable. We've seen the horrific pictures of school buses, hospitals, etc. Funeral services held in mosques that are being bombed. And Lord Mayor, the reason we wanted to amend it, we support every word that Councillor Mohammed and Councillor Qayyum have put in there. No motion, so our amendment doesn't delete anything. All we want to do is add to, hence why we've put a couple of clauses in. One of the things that we thought we needed to add to was, for this call, for suspension of arms sales, but also to send this notice of motion not just to the Sheffield MPs, but also to the Saudi and Yemeni embassies in London, and also to the Prime Minister and Foreign Secretary, who, let's be honest, will have the most influence over this issue in terms of when it comes to the UK, and these arms sales have to stop. Because one of the things that's been happening in Yemen, Lord Mayor, has been what's been termed as double tap strikes. These are strikes that occur, a building or a market is bombed, people rush to the aid of individuals, and soon after another bomb then is dropped on them. Everyone from the UN down, from the Save the Children, Amnesty International have called this war crimes. We might not have a foreign policy in Sheffield, but we can show that we care in terms of the City Council. We can't do anything about the arms sales other than say they are wrong, and we call on the government of the day to actually suspend the arms sales, and we do feel the pain of our Yemeni brothers and sisters at home in Sheffield.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lord Mayor, and thank you to Councillors Qayyum and Mohammed for bringing this motion on this very important issue. The situation in Yemen is of great concern to all humanitarians, and I'm sure the thoughts of everyone in this chamber throughout, to those suffering as a result of this conflict in Yemen and the Yemeni community in Sheffield and across the UK. The ongoing and escalating conflict has already claimed more than 100,000 lives, displaced more than 3 million refugees, in a population that Yemen is only 28 million, so more than 10% of the country is now refugees. 85,000 children, as we've already heard, have starved to death as a result of famine. Lord Mayor, we should rightly condemn this violence, particularly the actions of Saudi Arabia in their persistent and deliberate targeting of civilians. But that condemnation would ring hollow as long as we allow civilians to continue to be maimed and killed by British-made bombs and bullets. Lord Mayor, our amendment seeks to strengthen the original motion by directing it to the Saudi and Yemeni embassies, to our Foreign Secretary and the Prime Minister. Most importantly, it calls for the immediate suspension of UK arms sales to Saudi Arabia. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
The floor is to move amendment number 7. Ms. Speaker for 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. The moment I think every one of us is thinking of the children and everybody in Yemen. Our hearts are heavy, and sometimes when wars are killing millions and thousands of the people of Yemen and others across the world, and maybe the world, you don't really know what to say. Likewise, our amendment is to support the motion that's been put forward by Sam Mohammed, Councillor Mohammed, and Councillor Khayoum. Thank you very much for the speakers who spoke about how they feel, which likewise we agree, and the cries are real. We see how Yemen is suffering in our media, newspapers that we use to wrap things and recycle, televisions that we can turn off. But for the Yemeni communities across the world, it's real. It's reality of war. It produces refugees across countries that cannot even deal with the flight and flee, such as Somaliland and Somalia, countries that have been in war before. And what's really shameful is that our government has directly supported the Saudi regime's actions in Yemen, which has caused the deaths of an estimate, and this is an estimate that's growing, 85,000 children under the age of 5 years. This is according to the Save the Children. But those that are not really counted or known, we don't know. What's really another slap on the Yemeni community across the world is that the government's position.
Please call upon Councillor Douglas Johnson to second the amendment, please.
Okay, thank you, Lord Mayor. I'm probably very critical of the administration for bringing national and international issues here, but I'm just hearing Councillor Mohammed speak about, I think she knows correctly, just reflects so much of how the Yemen community is so importantly embedded in the city. So it is right to speak about it today. And of course that's why we're fully in support of this motion, with a similar addition of what we can bring to. And of course it's not just about the strong Yemeni community in the city, but about our legal respect for global human rights. And it's another chance for us to remember that what we do here does have an impact on people around the world. So what we want to do is make sure that we're not just expressing sympathy, because it's not a case of expressing sympathy now. And as Councillor Rivers has just said, 85,000 children. And these are only children under 5 years old. There's thousands more children who die than adults, and that's only up to the last point when those figures were counted. So we want action. And this is a chance for the Council here to say to the Government, and specifically to the International Trade Secretary, so that's Liam Fox, he has power to do things, and the reference in paragraph L of our amendment, if you look at the words there, those words reflect the conditions of the relevant export licence criteria that the UNFOC should be working to. We think he's not. We think this is a serious violation of international humanitarian law, and if this isn't, then what is? So we're saying, Chancellor Council, the UNFOCs, get your finger on this, put a stop to these arms sales. That's what we want to see.
Thank you very much. Now we want to see Councillor Dagmar.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Can I start by thanking Councillor Kayoum and Councillor Mohammed for bringing this motion and for their contributions in starting this debate, and to the speakers in the gallery for your contributions as well. This is a hugely important issue, and it is entirely appropriate that we're debating it today and that we've brought this up the agenda. British and Western foreign policy has for centuries been deeply intertwined in the crises in the Middle East, and is directly responsible for the crisis currently ongoing in Yemen and the Arabian Peninsula, where you see countries like Saudi Arabia, which was effectively sponsored on its establishment in the 1930s by America with Saudi Aramco, and the UAE, a close British ally, attacking one of the poorest countries in the world. Well, Yemen has been at the brunt of imperial aggression for centuries because of its place on the Red Sea. We've got a government that, as part of its global Britain agenda, has chosen to deepen its ties with the US and with its Middle Eastern proxies, rather than stand up for the principles that we should be doing on behalf of the people of Yemen who now live in the UK because of our long-standing relationship. We have a special debt and we should be acting to make amends. After the goings on in Parliament over the past few days, a general election might not be too far away, and a Labour government would immediately act to have a direct influence on the events in Yemen. We, our members of the UN Security Council, we could take action as the penholder of the crisis in Yemen to immediately arrange a ceasefire and take actions against the countries which are attacking the Yemeni people. But British and Western foreign policy isn't working on its own terms. It is not promoting stability. It is not making life safer for British or American people. If you look at the academic Matthew Hedges arrested in the UAE, the Washington Post journalist assassinated in Turkey,
Thank you very much.
Al-Qaeda emerging in Yemen and Syria, we are making the world a more dangerous place.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody who's spoken today with such dignity. And Councillor Mohammed, Peace and Love Sister, we are all here for you and we all support you. I support this motion and I'm very proud that this administration jointly in Sheffield today shows international solidarity with our brothers and sisters unnecessarily facing this tragic humanitarian crisis in Yemen. Today we send a message out to our Sheffield Yemeni community that your council will use everything in our power to add pressure on our government to do the right thing. We stand up for you here today, and your family and friends in the Yemen, just as you have and you contribute so much to our city. Today Sheffield asks this Tory government, how can you continue to support, advice and arm the Saudi-led coalition that is carrying out these assaults on the lives of so many millions of ordinary men, women and children? The repeated excuses made for supporting this calculated act of brutality against Yemen's civilian population, those excuses are unacceptable. As a permanent member of the UN Security Council, our government should be leading by example and trying to bring about an end to this disastrous humanitarian crisis instead of continuing to pander to the Saudi-led coalition. Jeremy Corbyn has pledged that when in power, and let's hope that soon, a Labour government will seek to end the war in Yemen. Tomorrow, what's disgusting is this Tory government could also do that, and they're not. This is what we ask for. This is what Sheffield demands. Condemn this cruel, brutal action. Stop making excuses for it. Stop arming those responsible and begin the peace process now.
I'd just like to echo what my friend Councillor said, and Councillor Mohammed. I think it was a very important motion to Council. and I wasn't actually going to speak today, but when I saw my friend Dr. Shai, who is, I thought I really ought to speak about this. Simply because I grew up with a lot of people from Yemen in Africa, and a lot of the Yemen community have contributed hugely to the economy of Sheffield by working in the skilled works and continue to do so even now. This is a huge humanitarian crisis. There is no excuse for it whatsoever. We cannot stand aside. Yes, we in this chamber probably cannot change what might happen, but we can send a message out, a very strong message out on behalf of our fellow Sheffielders, the Yemeni community, and there are other communities in this city equally, which Councillor Rivers has touched upon before, people in Somaliland and people in South Kashmir as well, where these issues are happening, and we have people from those communities here as well. And I'm proud of the fact, and this is, I'm being completely non-partisan here, I'm proud of the fact that this chamber, time and time again, stands up and stands shoulder to shoulder with these communities, and it makes me proud to be stood here today. And to Councillor Mohammed, I share your sorrow. And it's very brave of you to stand up and share it with us. And I will stop it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Thank you very much, and thank you to everybody that spoke. And I think we're all very moved by it. I think I've been very fortunate in my life. I've met lots of people from different backgrounds because I live in Burgley. They always say if you live in Burgley, you don't have to travel around the world. The world's there in front of you, and I'm very fortunate to have friends who are from the Yemen. And I know what a wonderful contribution they have made, not just in the past but now, to our great city, to help make our city great. And my heart is full of admiration for them, but also for, it goes out to them. They must be what they must be going through. I'm not going to repeat everything that everybody has said, but I was just listening to the radio the other day, and something I didn't realise was that 90% of food is imported in the Yemen. It's not grown in the Yemen, it's imported. Now, whether that figures are right or not, it was the World Health Organization person saying it. And that meant the bombing, when it's not only affected the hospitals, it affected farms and things like that, and the blockade has meant we are starving the Yemeni community. They do not have the infrastructure to grow their own food. That's not what this person said. Also, I think it was something like 85% of the population are employed by the government. They haven't had any wages for months and months and months. It's not just children that are starving, it's women and families that are starving. We have got to stop this. We have got to end the arms sales. We've got to stop the blockade. We've got to stop the bombing. And we've got to support the humanitarian relief for Yemen and do everything we can. And I'll work alongside you, any one of you who want to say, help me, let's get it and help them do it.
Thank you very much. I think you're right, Councillor.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. If I could just take the opportunity to very briefly say thank you very much to all colleagues who have contributed to this motion. Just to say that whilst we were focusing on the humanitarian aspect of the conflict, of course, it's important to recognise the military aspect, particularly regarding the sales of arms to Saudi Arabia. So I do welcome the amendments proposed by Councillor Mohammed, Shaw, Rivers and Johnson, and also particular thanks to my ward colleague Councillor Abdesam Mohammed, providing more of an insight from her very own and very moving personal experience of this terrible crisis. Thank you.
Now we want to vote on amendment number 6, and I was happy to vote the amendment as a whole or each separate paragraph. As a whole. Thank you very much. All those in favour of amendment number 6? All those against? And that has been carried. Now we're going to vote on amendment number 7, and I was happy to vote that as a whole. Yeah, brilliant. All those in favour of amendment number 7? That is carried. Now moving to the vote on the substantive motion. Are members happy to vote that as a whole as well? Brilliant. All those in favour? That motion is carried. I also just want to give my massive thanks to Councillor Sam Hammond for her contribution. And on that note, we will take a break. And just to let you guys know, we've got tutors and students from Red Tape Centre, so please do try your best to come back in for that. Thank you.